Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you, my dear little knucklehead, have wandered onto the #1 prog rock channel on all of YouTube. Yeah, I checked with Grok today, which was X's Elon Musk's AI, and I'm #1 on there. I was #2 on Gemini yesterday, #3 on ChatGPT. So, yeah, we're not messing with AI. If AI says it's true, it has to be true. And today on the program, oh, I got a good one for you, boys and girls. No political content for you today. We're going to be talking about the brand new live album from Beat. Oh, this thing drops next Friday, September 26th on Inside Out Music. And we all know the story behind this here record. Beat was announced shortly after Robert Fripp kind of wound down King Crimson with the final show in Tokyo in 2022. And then like 18 months later, we hear about this spin-off band called Beat. And apparently, Bill Bruford was asked to join. He said no, thank you. He was still in his hiatus. Robert Fripp gave his blessing to this, so this is a full-fledged King Crimson spinoff with the blessing of Robert Fripp. And you know, if okay, so you've got Adrian Belew and Tony Levin, two members of the band from that very fertile 80s period, which brought us 3 great albums that they're focusing on. Obviously, you've got Discipline that came out in 1981. Beat, that came out in 83, I think, or 82, something like that. What is it? I don't know. 82. Yeah, it was 82. And then in 84, 3 of a Perfect Pair came out. So 2 out of the 4 guys in this band are in Beat, so it makes sense that they would focus on those 3 records. And yeah, so what do you got instead? I mean, Robert Fripp isn't there. So who are you going to pick to replace Robert Fripp? There's nobody you can pick to replace Robert Fripp. So they did the right thing. They picked the greatest guitar player on planet Earth that they could finally, get their hands onto. And it's Steve Vai. I can't imagine a better guy than Steve Vai in this band. He can do anything. And it's interesting because Adrian Belew and Steve Vai both played with Zappa. And they both played a role that Pete Pardo called the stunt guitar role, which makes total sense. I mean, that was Belew's whole shtick, I'm going to join the Talking Heads and play weird sounds with my guitar. That was his whole thing for a while. And, the elephant, obviously, is a reference to Elephant Talk and the crazy sounds Adrian gets out of his guitar. But then, Bill Bruford isn't here. So who are you going to get? How about getting some guy from Tool named Danny Carey? Could you do worse than Danny Carey? I don't think you could, man. Danny Carey's amazing. You couldn't do any better than that. And one of the cool things about listening to this record is that those 3 albums in the 80s with Bill Bruford, he was using a very weird sounding drums, those electronic drums. Never really my cup of tea. I love Bill Bruford. He's my favorite drummer of all time. But man, I wish he would have used acoustic drums on those 3 albums. Well, if you're like me and you were wondering, man, I wonder what it would sound like with just a little better drum mix, Beat could be your record, man. Oh, it's so awesome. I'm in love with this thing. This was recorded November 10th, 2024. Beat has played 74 shows, so this was their 44th show that they actually decided to record. So they had been deep into tour. They had definitely gotten all the bugs worked out, all the kinks worked out. The magic is on display between these 4. It's really, really cool. Let's look at the packaging a little bit. It's 2 CDs and a Blu-ray. All right. So you've got the 2 CDs, and then the Blu-ray is the actual concert performance. Then you got some interviews and stuff like that, the crew arriving. I'll probably never watch that, but I will watch the live concert, because anytime you get to see Tony Levin bust out those big fingers, it's ridiculous, but it's always a lot of fun. So what do we got on here? Disc #1. There is a gatefold. Let's see. Let me show you all this. Goes out like this. Comes out like this. And then there's a booklet. Yeah. Some cool shots of the boys in the band. Tony. Oh, yeah. Danny and Tony and Steve and Adrian. Look how happy they are. Look at that bunch. Yeah, so what's on here? Disc 1 is primarily Beat and 3 of a Perfect Pair. It starts out with 4 songs from Beat. Starts out with Neurotica, which is fantastic because it's the best song on Beat. So it sounds amazing in this context. It actually got me really excited because for years I kind of thought Beat was my least favorite King Crimson album. So hearing these renditions of Neurotica, Neil and Jack and Me, Heartbeat, Sartori and Tangier, and The Waiting Man sound fantastic. The Waiting Man actually starts disc 2, but you've got, it starts out with those 4 tracks from Beat, and then we get into a little bit of 3 of a Perfect Pair with Model Man and Dig Me. Kind of cool hearing those deep cuts. Man with an Open Heart Industry, and then Lark's Tongues and Aspic Part 3. So yeah, all first disc is a Beat and 3 of a Perfect Pair, and you know, they actually sound good. They sound better. Because I always thought Beat and 3 of a Perfect Pair were just kind of not as good as Discipline. I didn't like the songwriting as much. I didn't think it was, you know, a nice carryover from Discipline. Yeah, they sound exactly the same, and they, you know, and they have worse album covers. That's the thing about Discipline. I love that album cover, and it's so cool that knot that's on the front was actually intellectual property, so they had to change the knot on Discipline because Robert Fripp himself was stealing intellectual property, which is funny because he's the guy, you know, that controls his stuff with an iron fist. So, yeah, disc 2 starts with a song from Beat, then a song from Discipline, then a song from 3 of a Perfect Pair. So you get The Waiting Man, and then a real nice version of Sheltering Sky, which is like 8 minutes long on Discipline, but they blow it up to like 11 minutes on here. It's phenomenal. Sleepless sounds great. And then you get into the heart of the matter, man, where you've got all the Discipline songs plus Red. So they do Frame by Frame, Matty Kudasai, 3 of a Perfect Pair thrown in there, my bad. Indiscipline, Red, and then the set ends with Thelahun Kincheat. Oh, that's such a great way to end. Oh, it sounds so much fun. Sounds like the lost Talking Heads song from Fear of Music or something, but it's just dynamite. So what are my thoughts overall on this? Well, I mentioned Danny Carey's drum sound. I absolutely love it. I think he's the perfect guy to replace Bill Bruford, you know, as it were. You don't need 3 guys like that last King Crimson lineup, you know, 3 drummers stepping all over themselves. All you need is one great drummer, and you get it with Danny Carey. Steve Vai, yeah, I can't think of a better guy to replace Robert Fripp, right? You can't replace Robert Fripp, but Steve Vai can play absolutely anything. And the synergy between Steve Vai and Adrian Belew, that was the magic that made 80s King Crimson work, was Fripp and Belew's, you know, guitar work, you know, locking in and doing all these crazy things rhythmically. It sounds amazing, man. These guys are just locked in, incredible. Adrian's voice sounds fantastic. And then we get to, you know, the song sequencing, you know. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Discipline. I think those Discipline songs sound so good, man. It's nice to hear the Beat and 3 of a Perfect Pair tracks elevated a little bit. But once we get to disc 2, you realize, oh, man, Discipline is just so much better than those other 2 albums. Not even funny, you know. The amount of creativity on those Discipline tracks, and it all sounds phenomenal here. It really, really does. Just so happy to have this in the collection. Like I said, it comes out September 26th. It's available on CD. It's available on vinyl. I might have to get the vinyl because look at that album cover is really cool. That would look really good in the record collection. But yeah, man, what am I going to give this? You know, this is weird. This is actually the very first live album I've ever reviewed. So it's kind of like I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's like my first day of school. But I think I'm going to give this puppy a 9.5 out of 10. I can't see really anything wrong with this at all. It's amazing. The sound quality is great. The performances are great. It's just amazing. You need to check it out. So like I said, there are 7 songs from 3 of Perfect Pair, 6 songs from Discipline, 5 songs from Beat, and 1 song from Red. And that's the lineup. And yeah, that's a great set list. That's an amazing band. It's an amazing record. You can pick it up wherever you pick up your vinyl or CDs, or just go online and pick it up. It's King Crimson. You're not going to have no problem finding it. Anyway, boys and girls, tune in this Sunday when we are going to be talking about Emerald City Council with the band themselves. Jake Livgren's going to be here. I've never met him. That's going to be fun. He, of course, is Carrie Livgren's nephew. Jake actually gave me the moniker, the Guru of Prague, or no, he called me what? The Jedi of Prague. I love that. I might have to start using that. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun this Sunday, 11 o'clock Eastern. Anyway, boys and girls, free Tibet, free Ukraine, free your mind, free beer, free Willie, and God save that king. Save King Crimson. Oh, King Crimson needs your saving. Oh, yes, indeed. I heard the boys from Beat might be putting out an actual album. I also heard that King Crimson might be coming out with a new album. It's a new glory era. It's a golden era for King Crimson fans, absolutely. But the king that we want is King Chucky, and we want him in America right now, where we can do thoughts and prayers and spells and incantations. We're going to drink that poison, and we are going to dance with snakes. Oh, yeah, we are. We're going to dance with snakes for King Crimson and King Chucky. Absolutely. I love you guys. I'll see you Sunday. Peace.